Now let's focus on how we can use our calculators as a tool in helping us find these key features. First, hit your home button and start a new document. Say you do not want to save, and then add a graph screen. Once you're on the graph screen, let's look at this first equation, y equals x squared minus 8x plus 12. Remember, when typing in this equation, we don't need the y equals because our calculator already has f of x. So we'll simply type x squared minus 8x plus 12. To graph, go ahead and hit enter. You should see that U-shaped graph that we called a parabola pop up on your screen. Some of yours may be blue like mine, some of yours may be red. It doesn't matter the color. Now, we want to use our calculator to help us identify those key features. So anytime we want the calculator to do some work for us, we're going to go to menu. Once you're on your menu options, I want you to use the arrows and scroll down to Analyze Graph. Because what you're asking the calculator to do is analyze what you've already put in, or analyze that function. Now, here you should see something that is a synonym for x-intercept. We talked about this yesterday in that the word 0 could be used to mean x-intercept. Next, a dotted line will show up on your calculator. Click to the left side of the graph. You don't need to click right next to it, just over to the left. Next, use your trackpad right here to scroll over, and you want to highlight one of the x-intercepts of your graph. You don't want to scroll to both of them, just that first one. Go ahead and click a second time. You should notice an ordered pair pops up on the screen. It tells you your x-intercept in that ordered pair, 2, 0. So let's make ourselves a note. 2, 0 is in x-intercept. I'm going to make this a little smaller so it doesn't take up quite as much space. Now let's repeat that process to find our second x-intercept. So we would hit Menu, going down to Analyze Graph again, and selecting 0. The same dotted line will pick up. This time, click to the right of your graph and slide over until you've highlighted the second intercept. Go ahead and click again. Now we should have that ordered pair 6, 0, which means our second x-intercept is the ordered pair 6, 0, or the point 6, 0. The neat thing with this is it doesn't matter what form your equation is in, you can still use this operation on your calculator to identify those zeros or x-intercepts. So again, we're going to hit Menu, Analyze Graph, zero. Then highlight the intercept. Just so you have those written out to view later if you want to freeze it on the screen while you work. Let's repeat that process for this second equation. So start a new document, home, new document, no, add a graph. Let's go ahead and type in our second equation, negative 4x squared plus 8x plus 5. And hit enter to graph. We'll go through those same steps. Menu, Analyze Graph, 0. Click to the left, highlight your ordered pair. We can go ahead and add that our intercept, or our 0, is the ordered pair negative 0.5, comma 0. Notice here, your x and y intercepts can always be fractions and decimals. They do not have to be whole numbers. Now, let's go back and find our second. So we say menu again. Analyze graph, 0. Click to one side and drag over. Now, sometimes they get stuck on top of each other, so we have to use our cursor to click. You can highlight it, or you can actually drag it away so that you can read it more clearly. So now we know that our second x-intercept is 2.5, comma 0. Now, I've given you a third equation here. Take a second and try it by yourself. Start a new document and identify those two x-intercepts. Once you got it graphed, you should have noticed that it ended up over to the side. So in order to clearly see our x-intercepts so that we can highlight them, we're going to have to go to menu and reposition our graph. So you'll go to Windows Zoom, because what we actually want to do is we want to zoom out. Center your graph now in the middle of this parabola so that you can see both intercepts. Now, you'll notice we still can't see our y-intercept, so if you wanted it, you would have to continue zooming out. But since our equation is in standard form, we know the y-intercept will be 75. So we've hit menu again, analyze graph, and we're going to go to 0. Highlight and identify your x-intercept, then repeat the process. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Highlight, identify the x-intercept. This time we have two very clear decimals with 6.55 and 11.4 as our x values or our zeros. So you would now have your answers to this third equation. Sometimes on a multiple choice test or maybe a multiple choice question, you'll see the x-intercepts given as x equals with only the x value, but you should also be able to recognize an x-intercept when it's written as an ordered pair, which again is because the y value is 0.